Folks, Donald Trump, we know he can't stand black people, he can't stand women. So is it a shock that last night he fires the highly, eminently qualified librarian over the Library of Congress? Carla Hayden became the country's top librarian in 2016 and had about a year and a half left on her 10-year term. Democrats were quick to criticize the action. In fact, they sent her an email from an aide of Donald Trump. That's crazy. House Democratic Leader Hakeem Jeffries said in this statement, Dr. Carla Hayden is an accomplished, principled, and distinguished Librarian of Congress. Her historic tenure has taken the institution to new heights, and I'm thankful for her incredible service. Donald Trump's unjust decision to fire Dr. Hayden in an email sent by a random political hack is a disgrace and the latest in his ongoing effort to ban books, whitewash American history, and turn back the clock. The Library of Congress is the people's library. There will be accountability for this unprecedented assault on the American way of life sooner rather than later. Now, folks, on Tuesday, Hayden testified before the Senate Appropriations Committee about the library's fiscal budget for 2026. Here's some of her testimony.
This is an opportunity to provide testimony in support of the library's fiscal 2026 budget request. The mission of the library is to engage, inspire, and inform the Congress and the American people with a universal and enduring source of knowledge and creativity. Above all, the library exists to serve. Service to Congress remains the foundation for the library's mission every day with analysis, policy consultations, briefings, programs, and constituent engagement. I'd like to express my sincere gratitude for the ongoing and extraordinary support that this committee and Congress gives to the library. I especially appreciate the funding you have provided for major information technology, IT investments that we are implementing and continuously improving to meet user expectations for greater access and new and enhanced tools. Also,
she's actually the first actual librarian to lead the Library of Congress. That lying press secretary of Donald Trump's, Carolyn Levitt. Listen to what this idiot had to say about the firing today of Carla Hayden.
The president fired the Librarian of Congress. Why did he choose to do that?
We felt she did not fit the needs of the American people. There were quite concerning things that she had done at the Library of Congress in the pursuit of DEI and putting inappropriate books in the library for children, and we don't believe that she was serving the interests of the American taxpayer well, so she has been removed from her position, and the president is well within his rights to do that.
So what they really mean is books from black authors. That's really what this is all about. So it's no shock you have these idiots with their racist and disgusting takes on this. Again, we're talking about the first African-American, the first woman, and the actually real librarian to hold the office. We're going to bring in Michael Imhotep, host African History Network show out of Detroit, joining our panel as well. And Michael, listen, they don't want black folks. They don't want women. And they damn sure can't stand black women. That's what this is all about.
Absolutely. And Roland, this is about using DEI to wipe out African Americans all across the board, attack African Americans, attack Latinos, whatever it is, say that they're unqualified when they are highly qualified. The first librarian. Now, the Library of Congress was founded in 1800. OK, founded in 1800. That's 3 years before the Louisiana Purchase. And when you look at this right here, Caroline Levitt could not state specifically what was done that was wrong that disqualified her. She talked about inappropriate books in the library for children. OK, well, which inappropriate books?
Right.
What was inappropriate about them? So what they do is they throw out DEI to attack Harvard University, Columbia University. Howard is coming. I'm telling you, HBCUs are coming, and they're doing this. This is straight out of Project 2025. This is what they have been planning, and all of this is a backlash to the racial reckoning that was taking place in this country as after the death of George Floyd. And she had 1 year left in her tenure. It's a 10-year tenure. She was appointed by President Barack Obama. So more things like this are coming. This is terrible, but it's not unexpected coming from the traitor in chief.
Yeah, but here's the whole deal. This is normally an apolitical position, Candace. The numbers are astonishing. First of all, this is how shameless these people are. This is the email that they actually sent to Carla Hayden. Carla, first of all, have some respect, you assholes, by addressing her by Miss Hayden or Mrs. Hayden. No, go back, please. Thank you. Leave it there. Carla, on behalf of President Donald J. Trump, I'm writing to inform you that your position as a Librarian of Congress is terminated effective immediately. Thank you for your service. Candace, that was it. That was it. That's how, again, shameful the email is that they actually sent out. And again, the Library of Congress, to understand, again, the historical points, since 1802, only 14 people have held the position. The predecessor to Carla Hayden held it for 28 years. This is what you get with these thugs, Donald Trump and his thugs.
You know what's happening, Roland? I see it as them rolling back and not having the constitutional convention that normally or very hard to have in order to try to change the amendments that are out there. Because one by one, all of our amendments are being eradicated. You can look at the 14th Amendment, the 5th Amendment in terms of due process, the First Amendment in terms of, protesting Columbia's campus, or even the Supreme Court making a decision and then Donald Trump saying, no, I'm just not going to listen to this 9-0 agreement by the justices. What he's doing is little by little is he is very much tapping and tapping away at all of the amendments that are out there. This time it is the First Amendment. This is what it's about. It's about the First Amendment and schooling and making sure that whatever young people read or anybody reads in any system matches his agenda. And so we are talking really about censorship. That is what is on the table. And the First Amendment is at stake. It has always been at stake, and it will continue to be at stake if we do not fight and become informed about these issues so that we know the language with which we should fight with. And that's a problem. He is in a position now between his executive orders and this whole DEI umbrella that we were talking about, where everything can just be swept up under it. So the fight continues, but this is all about censorship in the First Amendment. Yes, DEI, yes, blacks, LGBT, women. They've banned books from women who talk about having freckles because they are different. So we're talking about kind of the most ridiculous things about how they want to make sure that people are not offended by certain things because they're treated differently than another person. Very backwards approach. And is certainly an attack on the First Amendment. Yeah,
but it's not just the first. When you look at all their actions, and we're going to get to this when it comes to the arrest of Mayor Ras Baraka, they don't care about the Fifth Amendment. They don't care about the 14th Amendment. The only amendment they care about is the Second Amendment, Michael.
Yeah, Roland. Well, you're dealing with a thug president. So when you have somebody that's a 34-time convicted felon, you can expect them not to follow the law. OK, and so once again, this is an example how elections have consequences. OK, we're going to see more of this. We have to continue fighting against this. But this is a lawless administration. And you're going to see more attacks using diversity, equity, and inclusion actually to fire people. OK, we see the closing of the Minority Business Development Agency, OK, which distributed billions of dollars in contracts for African-American owned businesses. We saw that the Environmental Protection Agency was cutting grants, wiping out grants, talking about DEI. We saw that when you look at Cancer Alley, the lawsuit that the Department of Justice had against the petroleum company in the petrochemical company, I should say, in Louisiana, in the area called Cancer Alley. They dropped that lawsuit citing DEI. Cancer Alley is 92% black, 92% African American. So all these policies, even though they were not 100% for African Americans, we did gain some benefit. OK, but now they are reversing all that. Yeah, they're just
slapping DEI on everything.
This is the new critical race theory.
It's like we're just going to slap DEI on everything. But the real thing here that Candace laid out is Donald Trump, when he was, see, this is what people don't understand. He was not joking when he said, I want to be a dictator on day one. His whole deal is Candace, they want to take as much executive power. They believe that that legislative is irrelevant, judicial is irrelevant, that they hold all power. He wants to be a king. He wants to be Putin. He wants to be a dictator.
He's doing that is he's finding workarounds. He's finding workarounds in executive orders. He's finding workarounds by, you probably have noticed in various press conferences when he's asked questions, he'll tell you, well, that's not the question that you should be asking. Or he will say, I absolutely know nothing about that. When, like Michael said, not only has he known about it, but, there's pen to paper about it in Project 25. So what they're doing is really a lot of strategy, right? And then they're putting things out in the forefront so that we worry about other things and won't worry about the desegregation policy that was just reversed down in the Louisiana parish, right? We know about that, but it's not headlining news. We're talking about things like the UK and tariffs, which certainly are important, but meanwhile, simmering right below everything, right? I mean, like they say in the South, if it was snake, it would have bit us. It's right there. If we look, there's a lot of snake biting that's about to go on because he's doing things right in our faces, but we're not paying attention. And by the we, I mean people who need to be better versed on the laws, to understand what it means to go to the polls and vote. 90 million people sat down and didn't do anything this time around. And just being informed enough so that you can fight for your rights. I find that many times people do not know even what they're supposed to fight about because they're just not informed or they're misinformed by the media. So that's where we are right now. It's really incumbent upon everybody to do their jobs to try to make sure that everybody is well aware of what is going and to pay attention to the details and what's going on beyond the surface, not just at the top.
Well, yeah, the problem is when you have media who believes this stuff is just cute and they don't want to call it what it is and are unwilling to actually check him on this.
Hello, I'm Isaac Hayes III, founder and CEO of Fanbase. Listen to what I'm about to tell you. The window to invest in Fanbase is closing. We've raised over $10.6 million of our $17 million goal. That means there's room for less than 6,370 people to invest in Fanbase for the average amount. The minimum to invest in Fanbase right now is $399. That makes you an owner in Fanbase today. Go to startengine.com/fanbase to invest. Why? Because current social apps have taken advantage of users for far too long, with content suppression, shadow banning, harmful racist content, and no real tools for monetization and equity. Fanbase has over 1.4 million users and counting, allowing anyone to reach all their following and monetize their content from day one. Social media is the new TV, and whoever owns the apps that distribute that content have the opportunity to own potential billion-dollar companies. While big platforms with uncertain futures are failing to serve their users, Fanbase is stepping up to fill the gap. Don't wait until it's too late. Invest now, invest for yourself and your future. Go to startengine.com/fanbase and own the next generation of social media.